recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios, Meanjin, Brisbane.
On 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out?
Share your hot take?
Or do you just want to share your favourite game?
Find us on socials at Zed Games AU.
Hello, you're listening to Zed Games! My name is Zahra, and with me in the studio this very, very spooky episode is... and...
Boot.
Oh,
It's me, Tom.
jeez! That's so scary, Tom.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, far out. Jump
It's
scare
not as
warning.
scary as a crow.
Not-
I really wanted it to be like a zombie or a scat, but it really was bird-like.
Which was adding to the atmosphere.
Ominous.
Yeah, it was ominous.
I was thinking about Dead by Daylight and all the crows in that game.
You're always thinking about Dead by
I always am.
How are we all doing tonight? Like, what's the vibe other than spooky? Are we feeling good?
Feeling good.
Feeling like we could like outrun a serial killer or something?
Depends on which one.
Depends on which one.
I've dealt with so many tricks and now I'm ready for a treat.
Ooh,
Yeah.
and we've certainly got some treats ahead of us tonight. We've got an assortment of gorgeous reviews, and we're about to hop into the week in gaming news, which is, oh, shocker, full of horrors beyond our comprehension.
Yeah. That's what people die with.
Yeah.
This week in scary gaming news, layoffs and shutdowns. Ubisoft have asked staff at studio Massive Entertainment to volunteer being laid off or to make a, this is disgusting, career transition. As part of our ongoing evolution and long-term planning, we have recently realigned our teams and resources to strengthen our roadmap. To support this transition responsibly, we introduce a voluntary career transition program, said Massive in a statement on X, formerly known as Twitter. This does follow Red Links, which is another Ubisoft studio which developed Trials. You've probably heard of it. And they've laid off over 50 employees recently. And as well as that, Netflix have closed a game studio Boss Fight, which... haven't really heard much about. But they produced Squid Games Unleashed. Netflix had acquired the studio in 2022, and as well as that, they closed its AAA studio, Blue, last year without producing a single game.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
Just acquiring studios just to shut them down.
That seems that's really what it feels like. And this, of course, is sort of in the shadow of the massive layoffs that are being announced across the tech sector. Most notably is Amazon's plans to cut 30,000 employees.
I heard some HR terminology that turned up recently that was, instead of calling them layoffs or whatever, you call it staying nimble. So the company needs to stay nimble, so we need to, cut down on people. So instead of that, we should say 30,000 people being nimbled.
Being nimbled. Wow. Okay. I don't want to dwell on that because that's just depressing. But it is happening. If you know someone in tech, maybe you check in on them. Moving on. Maylee, do you want to take this next story?
Yeah, it's maybe slightly less sad, but it's not great fun news. So YouTube is updating their policy related to age restrictions, and they will be restricting video game scenes containing graphic content. Significantly, if it displays realistic human characters in mass violence against non-combatants, accounts under 18 years old, or if you're not signed in, won't be able to view it. Other content that'll be restricted includes gambling with digital goods, social casino games, and promotion of gambling and social casino games. But as we know, that can be interpreted very broadly.
Yeah, remember Bellatrix, the ruckus that caused?
They were saying that was simulated gambling, even though it's like no money in or out sort of thing.
There is a
too far.
balance. There is a balance here. Just
on the surface, it sounds good.
On surface, it sounds good. But like specifically in their statement, they did say that like even if cash isn't exchanged, this may fall under gambling. So I guess we'll see. This rolls out next month in November, along with like other restrictions that have been rolled out in December. But let's get into news nibbles because
we're hungry.
The treats.
Tom, take it away.
So, PS5 players are getting a treat. Halo 1 is getting a remake called Halo Campaign Evolved, which not only redelivers Halo 1, but also introduces new prequel missions, sprinting, and changes to the level design. Jamie Griesemer, original Halo dev, was less than impressed with the changes, saying, "You aren't supposed to be able to take the Warthog up to steamroll the Hunters. Unintentionally placed rocks in the way, so you had to fight them on foot." So, yeah, people aren't entirely happy with the remake. It's not super faithful to the original. I get it. Some people are very nostalgic for the pacing and how it all feels, and the readability of the game as well. When it's in high def and like with lots of shadows, it's hard to see where enemy combatants are. But also, like, that's just play the original. It's still around.
Yeah, it's still around. It is kind of, it's been interesting how people have been sort of mad about sprinting. I love being able to sprint in video games, not in real life.
You're more of a long distance runner in real life.
Yeah. I'm a bit more of a marathon runner. But again, it does sort of mess with like the pacing of the game and a bit of the feel. So
also,
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, also huge that it's coming to PlayStation.
That is the most
wild.
insane
That's
part
the
of
last
it to me.
bastion. Everyone thought, oh yeah, Gears of War, sure.
Yeah. But
Halo?
On my PlayStation?
Yeah, what are we going to see next? Crash Bandicoot on my Switch?
Wait, hang on. Can we just... I need someone to check. Are you sure that's not a thing?
It is a thing.
Oh,
that's the bit.
Wow. Oh, okay. Moving on. Apparently, the Wachowskis, the writers and directors behind The Matrix, had initially asked Hideo Kojima, creator of Metal Gear, to design a Matrix video game only to be turned down by Konami. Hideo Kojima reportedly was never told about such a conversation, and he's a little confused. He did say that, like, that'd be kind of sick. Not in those words, but, like, I feel the intent behind his statement of, like, we could have made it work.
Yeah, it fits in with his style.
We've missed something.
Yeah, we should go back.
We had the opportunity and we missed it.
I think it just would have been a
sad.
really fun world for him to just sort of tinker around in. But let's move on. Maylee, do you want to read this last story?
Sure. JGEX. I think they're called JGEX.
JGEX.
Well, that's what they're called, and that's how I've always pronounced it, so that's what I'm calling them, JGEX. They're the RuneScape developers currently, I think RuneScape 3. They have rigged a community vote to decide on whether to keep or remove a microtransaction in the game called Treasure Hunter. And that seems really messed up, but they actually rigged it to vote yes. They forced the community to vote that they should remove the microtransaction instead of just removing it. Like, just remove it, but they didn't. They wanted to be dramatic.
I appreciate the drama of it.
I do too.
I remember, like, a few weeks ago, there was voting for the Deltarune community vote, and that got rigged. That made people big mad for various reasons. But we shan't dwell on that. We shall go onwards to upcoming games. So today, October 30th, we've got Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake for everything. We got Strange Children for the Switch and PC, and Arc Raiders for the PS5, Xbox Series X and S and PC. Maylee, what's coming out next?
On October 31st, spooky time, Tales of Xillia Remastered is coming to PS5, Xbox Series XS, Switch and PC. And on November 3rd, Tales of Old Dominus is coming to PC.
Tom?
And on November 4th, Europa Universalis 5 on PC, Football Manager 26, PS5, Xbox platforms, PC, iOS and Android, and Master Lemon The Quest for Iceland on PS5, Xbox platforms, Switch, and PC.
I've never heard of that. I'm intrigued by that name.
I'm also intrigued. It made me think of like Coal Lemonade, but it's not really.
Made me think of Lemon Grab.
Oh, it does. November 5th will bring Biped 2 for the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Can for the PS5 and PC. Dinkin for the Switch. Plaguein for the PC, and the Fable manga build roguelike for the Switch and PC. That's it this week in gaming news. Tom, you've got a review for us tonight.
I certainly do.
A very spooky review. Should we play the intro?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's give it a go. We'll spook it up.
It's a really feel-good game.
Scary.
Pretty scary.
Hey!
Insurance.
You know what's really scary?
What?
1960s Japan.
Oh, damn.
I could believe it, sure. Tell me more.
Yeah, I will. So, Silent Hill is a much-loved series with a rocky past. The original Team Silent created an excellent 4 games on the PS1 and 2, only to then be dissolved by the developer Konami. After this, the franchise was passed around to various development teams that never seemed to get the point. The series shouldn't be about a twist ending or a rehashed story of a guilt-ridden protagonist. Silent Hill is really about exploring real human fears through symbolism and an oppressive atmosphere. Silent Hill F is a departure from a lot of the traditions of the series, but in doing so it became a fresh experience that really understood what fans wanted to see. Instead of taking place in a modern-day American town, Silent Hill F takes us to Ebisugaoka, a rural fishing town in 1960s Japan. We take on the role of Hinako, a young woman on the verge of graduating high school, as she storms out of her house, her father hurling abuse at her, and her mother begging for her to forgive him. To clear her head, Hinako walks into town to talk to her friends. This is where we experience one of the 2 major settings in this game. The town is secluded, surrounded by lush rainforests and rice fields. It is Showa period housing, you know, those classic Japanese buildings with wooden floors and canvas sliding walls. Everything around her is grim and grey and brown in colour. As Hinako walks into town, she notices how empty it is. Even after meeting a few of her friends, they express the same feeling. Something's wrong. At this time, the dreaded Silent Hill fog rolls in, bringing with it a wave of red spider lilies flowers spreading like a rash. The fog reaches her friend Sakuko, and the flowers begin to sprout from under her skin. Plant tendrils pierce through, and she falls over dead. After escaping the fog and getting separated from her remaining friends, Hinako begins to encounter the monsters of Silent Hill. She picks up an old metal pipe to arm herself, and we reach our first gameplay mechanic, combat. There aren't any ranged weapons in this game. Hinako uses weapons from her surroundings to defend herself with. Baseball bats, kitchen knives, wood-cutting axes, and the like. The combat's really quite involved. Hinako has a multi-directional dodge that she can use at the last minute to avoid a swing, and as well as her own charged attack, and if she times it right, she can interrupt enemies with a powerful counter. Hinako was a bit of a tomboy. She's a track and field star, and it shows in her animations. She runs confidently, and her weapon swings aren't timid and fearful. They appear ferocious, frustrated, lethal. After an exhausting battle, she faints and collapses on the ground, waking in a surreal room with a temple shrine in front of her. At this point, we find our second main gameplay mechanic, the puzzles. Silent Hill F's puzzles aren't that difficult on normal settings, often asking players to observe their surroundings for clues and interpreting these hints into solutions. A lot of the puzzles in this surreal world reference Hanako's life and friends, and at other times they reference Japanese folklore, specifically that of the fox spirit. This is when Hinako meets a man dressed in white traditional robes and a fox mask covering the top half of his face. Claiming to be her protector, he leads her through the doors and out into the spirit realm. From this point on, each chapter alternates the setting, one with Hinako trying to escape the horrors of her hometown, and the other with her following the fox mask deeper and deeper into the world of the spirits, as each part of her is ripped away, piece by piece. So, what is Silent Hill F actually about? Without going into spoilers, the setting of the game makes sense. In 1960s Japan, women were pressured by society to conform, to act like homemakers, wives and mothers. Hinako sees the adult women in her life as people who have lost themselves, their identity only being allowed and validated by the men that they marry. Sure, if a woman married a good man, he might allow her some freedom, but why should it be at his whim? The monsters she encounters reflects these feelings. The first enemy, a naked, blood-stained, feminine mannequin, brandishing a rusty kitchen knife, whose contorted posture means it literally bends over backwards to stab you in the back. Or the masculine crawling enemies, with a glowing, dangling tongue and staring eyes who like to watch you from a distance before lunging and holding you down. This game was written by Japanese horror writer Ryukishi 07 from the When They Cry visual novel series. And as such, this game utilizes his traditional multiple endings and cycles. Silent Hill has always had multiple endings in their games. In this one in particular, you are stuck on the singular path on your first playthrough, but you are heavily encouraged to play it again. When you do so, you get a new Game Plus option where you get to keep all of your upgrades and abilities. And also, the game will literally tell you the conditions you need to do and follow to unlock the other endings.
Oh.
So, one thing that I loved about my replay of these games, not only do some of the puzzles stay the same so you can steamroll through them, but the game tells you if the scene that you're watching is going to have new dialogue or recycled dialogue. When you tap the X button or the confirm button on whatever console you're playing, down in the bottom corner it'll say skip cutscene, or it'll say skip, or it'll say skip new cutscene. So you actually know if you're going to receive new content or not, which I think actually makes replay sessions really helpful. But yeah, so the game's really oppressive. I love the fresh take on the series. I don't think Silent Hill needs to be in the same town and be another story about a man feeling guilty for past actions. I think focusing on different people's experiences and different people's fears and anxieties are much better ways of telling stories. And contrary to a lot of weirdos online who have been saying that this game's anti-marriage, I don't think that at all. I think it's just meant to be a story of someone realizing that they are going to experience a loss of self and leaving childhood behind for a grim reality that they're about to experience. So yeah, that's Silent Hill F. I recommend it.
So you're listening to Zed Games, is that it?
You're listening to Zed Games.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Hello, you're listening to Zed Games.
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 Perfect. Thank you.
I've got a couple of spooky reviews for you. I'm not even going to do the review intro and outro. It's that spooky. Rental. Developed by Lonely House. This is a bite-sized bit of spooky. Rental has you play as Umi, a young girl whose family has just arrived at a cabin close to the beach, the perfect rental for the summer holidays. And as your family unpacks the van, your parents realize that the caretaker is nowhere to be seen, but the cabin door is open. Won't you go find the caretaker? Rental is an exploration game, all in a low poly style that reminds me a bit of Animal Crossing, which is a common theme in horror games by having a cute character in a scary setting. And this game has the lo-fi aesthetics, feeling gritty and foggy with fixed camera angles that control just where you're looking. Controls are simply WASD keys and spacebar to interact. When you enter the cabin, the door shuts behind you and locks, trapping you inside. And you find the caretaker, but unfortunately the caretaker is not very helpful, leaving it up to Umi to figure out what's going on and what seems to be wrong with this rental. Stage 1 is spooky, make no doubt of that, with the use of fixed camera angles teasing at the danger. And just as I got used to the spooks that were happening, the game took me elsewhere into a mirror maze. Try not to panic, as I'm sure I've taken the wrong turn. It's a short game, with my first run taking about 20 minutes to complete. Note, first run. And it's a good game to warm up for a night of spooky gaming, priming your appetite for horror. It's not super scary. You're probably not going to have too much trouble completing it, but it has a sense of humor and structure that is nostalgic of being young in an unfamiliar house. I've also got a review for Welcome to the Dark Place, developed by Zeekerss. Be prepared to wander around a lot, simply exploring and sometimes fleeing through this dark world, searching for clues or safety, or even just another person who is an actual person and not some creation of the dark or twisted and wrong. Welcome to the Dark Place is a delightfully, horrifyingly visceral and auditory experience where the only visuals is a dark screen and white text. The game boots up in window mode, which I tried to change immediately, only to be met with a message when I tried to click full screen. You must enter the Dark Place. So I returned to the main menu and hit start. Now there are 6 rules to remember. 3 red blots mark liars. Food means depravity and death. Tellers of time are sped up by holes in suspicious places may lead to the undergoing. Don't listen to the wolf. And finally, the train is the only escape. It is an auditory and text-based horror game where you'll have to navigate the dark place. Headphones with surround sound are highly recommended, so put yourself in a dark room with a cup of tea and settle in. Everything you witness and experience in this game is conveyed through sound and text, and the way the soundscape is structured and takes advantage of the auditory space around you makes the hairs on the back of your neck rise. When you're fleeing some creature, you can hear it behind you, crashing through the undergrowth. To the west, you hear the gurgle of a stream. And all the while, the text asks you if you want to start running. If you choose to keep running, you must keep running, urging you to take action quickly, frantic, a bit panicked. It's a great experience, conveying the sense of being a trespasser in an empty mansion or cautiously approaching a phone booth in the middle of the forest. It's not an easy or straightforward experience, requiring a bit of patience and maybe a sketch pad to draw out a map, but it's really, really satisfying in its design, and I honestly just had a lot of fun trying to explore and survive this strange and dark place. And do you want to know the spookiest thing?
What's the spookiest thing?
Both of these games are free.
They're free on Steam.
No.
They're free on Steam. So if you just need to warm up before you hop into Silent Hill F, rental and Welcome to the Dark Place. Highly recommend it. Good little spooks.
You're listening to Zed Games at 4ZZZ.
You're listening to Zed Games on 4ZZZ.
Oi mate, you're listening to Zed Games at 4ZZZ.
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 Got a bit carried away.
You're listening to Zed Games. With me in the studio. This episode is Maylee and Tom.
Hi.
Boo.
And Tom, you got some news for us regarding something spooky.
Yeah, and very important news. Google has a Halloween-themed Pac-Man game on their homepage. Go play it.
Go play it. But Maylee, there's some other news we've got to share. And it's about an event that's happening next week on the 6th of September. Sorry, at the 6th of November at Lost Souls Netherworld. We are having another Indie Dev Night. Woo woo!
Indie Dev Night.
Maylee, what games are showing?
So we've got a good mix this time. I mean, we always have a good mix, but this time we have Heavy Magic by Grey Cult. It's a PC game, single player, cast spells, and suplex wizards. Who doesn't want to be...
I want to suplex wizards.
I've seen that. You're playing as a buff wizard.
It's top down, beat 'em up. And apparently you take on waves of jabronis.
That's appropriate.
It's a fun vibe. There's also Worm by S-Bug Games.
That is WIRM. Worm?
Yes.
Worm.
Not either of the regular worms. You take a worm on a tiny adventure through a delightfully wiggly physics platformer. We've got Hyper Router by Piers for the PC. It's a trippy momentum-based exploration game that imagines the internet as a physical place. We've got The Lovely Key Fairy by the game is just Key Fairy, but it is lovely, by Al Machine. It's hand-drawn folkloric pacifist bullet hell. If you don't know it, if you're not up on Key Fairy, check it out.
Yeah.
You're behind.
You do want to check this out.
We have Dice of Kalma by Pepperbuck Studios. There's so many. Dice of Karma is a deck-building roguelike where you play dice against Karma, the grim guardian of the underworld.
Spooky.
We've got Kokato Dispatch by Kobiko, managing a ragtag team of witches as they deliver mail around a magical archipelago. Very on theme.
So
spooky.
fun.
I mean, I know it's past Halloween, but still. We've got Sugar, like a roar. By Delta Phase Games. I've actually I picked it up at PAX and I've been playing it and it's very fun.
I also got a copy of it at SpringCon.
It's so fun!
It makes me want to eat fruit.
That's a tabletop game. And another tabletop game is Delta Rummy, also by Delta Phase Games. So if you're feeling a bit video gamed out, there's tabletop games for you too.
Yeah, and it's a totally free event. Just show up, poke your head in. Have a chat with the devs, have a chat with the other gamers. It's always a lot of fun. It's a really good chance for local developers to sort of share their games, share what they've been working on with the public, and kind of like, I guess, sort of showcase that there are real human people living in the region who are making all these amazing projects, and all we want to do is just share it with all of you because it's awesome. I love video games.
That's 6th of November, 6 to 9 p.m. Be there, soak it up.
Be there or be square. That's right.
Or be dead because it's Halloween.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Too far. You've gone too far this time.
Yeah, I shouldn't threaten murder.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now that we have threatened everyone with murder, we're just going to listen to a little bit of music. Oh no, actually, we're coming up to the end of the show. Oh, my
Time
apologies.
flies when you're being scared.
I know.
It's the adrenaline pumping
It is
through
the
us.
adrenaline. Like, it's just been pumping. Like, we've gone through Silent Hill Earth. We've gone through a rental that's haunted. We've gone through The Dark Place. And now we're coming up to the end of the show. I just wanted to say to everyone out there, have fun, stay safe, keep playing games. And if you're playing some horror games, I'm sending you my love. Be strong. Be brave. Until next time. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, you can find us on the Community Radio Plus app
Or find us on socials at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.